Hello, everyone. Welcome to Everything Arsenal. A lot to talk about today. Obviously, the latest on David Raya looks like we are getting really close to signing him. We'll also be talking about Kudus. We finally have a development in the links to Kudus. Are we going to get him? I mean, it's looking very likely as well. Takehiro Tomiyasu, could he be leaving Arsenal as well? What? Are we going to be getting another fullback? Who knows? I thought it was going to be Tierney, but could it be Tomiyasu? We have some news on that as well from Fabrizio Romano. Also, Marquinhos seems to be going out as well. Nicolas Pepe, the latest on him. Austin Trustee, and also the latest on our game later today against Monaco. And a bit of an update on the Emirates, like Emirates, not the stadium, the company. Yeah, we're actually going to talk about the company sponsoring Arsenal. So let's get it started without wasting any more time at all. And let's start with David Raya. So this is the latest from Fabrizio Romano on David Raya. He says Raya and Arsenal personal terms have been agreed as reported on Tuesday. Talks between clubs continue. So as I say, these days, whenever Arsenal start talking to the club and personal terms already been agreed with the player, like since we qualified for the Champions League and finished in the second position, not January when we are going for Modric, I always fancy Arsenal to go and get the player or get the job done. Like I'm never in a rush for myself. Whenever they say, yeah, we're talking to Declan Rice, when other people are like, wide and all that other teams are going to come in for him. I'm like, nah, they've already done the background job, and it's just getting closer and closer. Let them do their thing, and it's looking likely that David Raya will be joining Arsenal. We did some comparisons yesterday between him and Ramsdale. This transfer came out of nowhere. Like I cannot lie to you. I did not expect Arsenal to get a new goalkeeper, first choice or second choice or third choice. I thought we were going to go into next season with the Ramsdale and Tan as the second goalkeeper and maybe a Conco Karl Hein as the third choice. But it looks like it just seems like it's either one or two, either two things. One, he wants Raya to come and replace Ramsdale. He feels like he's better. Or number two, he just wants competition for Ramsdale. But as I said before, goalkeepers usually don't rotate unless you play a goalkeeper in the Carabao Cup and FA Cup. And I'm not sure any of these two goalkeepers want to play that. This is a goalkeeper who could be England's number one in a year or maybe less. And this is a goalkeeper who could be Spain's number one as well very soon. So both of them would want to play every single game and prove themselves. So for Raya himself to agree to the Arsenal deal, knowing that there's Ramsdale at Arsenal, he has to have been convinced about something that we don't know. So let's see what happens with that one. But we might end up paying around 40 million. It might be less. Brentford might be forced to reduce that price. Let's see what happens with that. But this is going to be a very interesting one. Ramsdale is definitely not going anywhere unless like Raya comes to Arsenal and then the first two games he starts or something like that, and then Ramsdale just gets frustrated and says he wants to go. That is a possibility, but he just signed a new contract as well. Will any other team come and pay that money for Ramsdale, even if he wanted to sell Ramsdale? That would be crazy. I don't think he wants to sell Ramsdale, though. I think he wants to like gamble for this one season and have both of them in the team, and then maybe by next season, whoever is not happy in the team could be sold. I think that could be a possibility as well. But let's see how that one develops. Personally, I'm happy with having two good goalkeepers, but in history, it's rare where a team has two very quality goalkeepers. It's very rare. So you have to. The feeling is that at least one of them will be leaving next year, and it might be the one who stayed here longer than the other. So let's wait and see. Personally, I feel like some comments that have been made about Ramsdale are unfair. I still feel like he's a very good goalkeeper. Personally, I say even last season is one of the best goalkeepers in the league. So for us to actually replace him, it shows where our ambition is. But no one knows if he's being replaced with just competition or whatever. Let's wait and see. But that is the latest on David Raya. Developments expected very soon. What about Mohammed Kudus? The rest of Mohammed Kudus and also Romeo Lavia. Actually, let's get to it. So, according to reports from Miguel Delaney, Arsenal could move for Romeo Lavia if following Balogun goes to one of the Milan clubs. It is understood that Mikel Arteta currently favors Mohammed Kudus, however, due to a particular idea he has for his midfield. So, Arteta's brain is cooking. He has an idea of how he's going to play with Kudus and Havertz and Odegaard and Rice and Partey. So he prefers Kudus to Romeo Lavia. And as I've always said, like since day one, I said I'm 100% sure Rice is going to join Arsenal. I said we are 60-70% on Havertz. He could join, he might not join. And I always said like 20% sure that Lavia is going to join Arsenal. Didn't really look possible because they've never really gone for him that much, and they were asking for 50 million, and I didn't think Arsenal wanted to spend that on him. And even us actually going to spend 40 million on a goalkeeper, not Lavia, it shows they didn't really want Lavia that much, as he prefers Kudus. Maybe the plan is to have Partey and Rice and Jorginho in that midfield position, and Havertz and Smith Rowe and Trossard in the number 8 position, and maybe throw in Kudus in there as well. We don't know about the plans for next season. I mean, we've seen a couple of friendlies. We've seen Trossard playing in the number 8 role, so that could be some position where we see him the most next season as well. We've seen Havertz playing there as well, so I think that is the kind of what he's looking for, like 2 attacking number 10s in the team rather than a defending number 8 to defensive number 8. Maybe that could be the plan. But Mohammed Kudus is looking good at the moment. Chelsea also want him, so they could also get him. But again, as I've said, these days, whenever Arsenal seriously want a player, I'm never really worried about any other team. If they really want him, they are going to get him ahead of Chelsea. Not worried about Chelsea, not worried about Bayern Munich, not worried about Real Madrid. If you want the player, our project is so good right now in terms of convincing players to join. Edu and Ata are pretty good at that. So confident in getting Mohammed Kudus. So that's the latest on Mohammed Kudus and Lavia. As you've seen, they're also talking about Balogun. Miguel Delaney also talked about Balogun there. If it goes to one of the Milan clubs, we could move for Romeo Lavia. So what's the latest on Balogun? Yesterday we touched a bit on this one. Unfortunately, looks like he actually does want to go. According to Ben Jacobs, following Balogun has asked Arsenal to drop their asking price. He's already said he won't go out on loan. Inter felt 45 million was too high and have now bid for West Ham's Kamaka. They haven't entirely ruled out signing Balogun, though. So when a player asks a team to reduce his price, that is a player who's looking for options to leave. If he didn't want to leave, it'd have been like, you know what, add the price because I really don't want to leave. Make sure to get as much money as you can for me. But the problem is, people are like, why are we selling Balogun? We should be keeping Balogun and selling Ketia. We actually have some news on Jesus as well. We'll talk about that one at the end. But the problem is, if this particular player does not want to stay, he does not feel like he needs to be a bench player, second strike and everything, that becomes a problem. And the other one is happy to stay and fight for his position and play in the cup competitions. That is adding Ketia. That is the problem. Another thing is that Balogun is going to get us more money than Ketia. So all those things put together, it really does feel like Balogun is the one who's going to leave. And he's not patient enough. I was hoping that he'd be patient enough. He's only 21 years of age. There's 2-3 good things you could do. Number one, you could do like a Saliba. Like you could go out on loan again. Maybe even 1 or 2 seasons and come back a different player, come back when Arsenal is like topping the table and competing in the Champions League regularly. You could have that at Arsenal in the next couple of years when you're coming back. It could even start happening now. Or if you feel like you want to be part of this team, if you feel like Arsenal are going to do really well this time round and win trophies and you feel like you don't want to miss out, you can stay in the team. Like Arsenal fans actually don't really want Arsenal or Balogun to go. So if you wanted to stay and fight for your position and come in the last few minutes in the Premier League, play a couple of games in the Champions League, maybe feature in the FA Cup, feature in the Carabao Cup. This time our plans are not to go out early in those competitions. That could have been somewhere to go as well. Like that could have been a decision to be made as well. Or number 3, go to a Premier League team on loan for 1 year. Prove yourself in the Premier League and then come back next season and let's go. You never know. Nketiah might not be here by then. You could have already sold a few other players. Injuries could happen. You'll get your chance. But the problem is, he said he does not want to be a third choice striker, and now it seems like he does not want to be a second choice striker as well. And unfortunately, Jesus is ahead of Balogun in the pecking order. So that becomes a problem. But we'll talk about Jesus at the end as well, because that's this could all of a sudden change because of the news we have on Gabriel Jesus. So that's the latest on Raya and Balogun and Romeo Lavia and also Mohammed Kudus. But that's not it. A lot to get through as well. What about the players who could be leaving? According to reports from Fabrizio Romano, Takehiro Tomiyasu hasn't been offered to any Italian club despite reports is a regular part of Arsenal's plans. Situation could only change if Arsenal sign new fullback, but nothing close or advanced at the moment. moment. So there's been rumors going around that Tomiyasu could be sold by Arsenal. That would be a surprise because we already have like 2 players in every position. Tomiyasu, Ben White, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Kivio, Tierney, Zinchenko. So those are 8 defenders. And we are selling Austin Trustee. We've gotten bids for Holding as well. So it looks like we have 8 solid defenders there. So if Tomiyasu got sold, that would be weird because Zinchenko is actually suffering with an injury on that other side. Yes, I know you can't play on the right side really, but that is one full suffering with injury. And then we sell another. That means we have 6 defenders. I don't think that would be enough. So unless, as Fabrizio says, we are going to get another fullback, which I don't expect. Right now, we are looking at Kudus. You're looking at Raya. That will already take us to 5 new signings. Are we going to get 6 to 7 signings in this? We only have less than 1 month remaining in the transfer window. So are we going to get 4 or 5 signings done during the season? I don't think Arteta usually wants to do that, like sign that many players within, like before this, after the season has started. We are probably going to get Raya before the game against Nottingham Forest, and even Kudus could happen before that game, and then we probably wouldn't sign anyone else after that. We usually don't sign that many players these days after the season has started. Yes, Tomiyasu will sign and everything, but very, very few. So I don't expect us to sign like 2-3 players after the season has started. Now, the thing with Tomiyasu, I know the injuries have really affected him, but when he plays, he's very good. Right back, left back, centre back, whichever position he plays. Like this preseason already, he's played on the left side. He played really well. He played on the right side, played really well. And there's a game, I think, was it against Nuremberg? He came on as a centre back, a left centre back, not even a right centre back. And he did okay as well. So he's a player who's all-rounded. And in terms of those man-marking games where you need someone to mark Salah and Mars and Zaha are now gone, but if you need someone to mark those kind of players, you give that job to Tomiyasu and he'll do it very well. He'll not give you a lot in terms of going forward, but in terms of those interceptions and heading the ball and just marking a player, he's going to do a good job in that. So Tomiyasu, personally, I want him to stay. The only thing that might change my mind after the season or in the middle of the season is if we start again this season and he gets injured again, 2-3 injuries, and then by January he's only played like 5 games, then you might consider like probably loaning him out or selling him in January, or at the end of the season, if he's only played like less than 20 games of 10, 12 games, like 50 games possible, he's only played 12, then that becomes a problem. You have to try and cut your losses in terms of that and just call it injury prone and let him go. That could be a thing, but let's hope that he recovers this season. I still feel like he's a very, very good player, and I'm hoping he does. Marquinhos, what's the latest on Marquinhos? We're talking about Saka's backup and all that. Marquinhos is one of them, but it looks like he's about to leave on loan. According to reports, Arsenal winger Marquinhos looks set to join Olympiacos on loan following spell with Norwich. Past sources in Greece, Besiktas also interested in Nicolas Pepe. Austin trusted to complete £5 million permanent switch to Sheffield United in coming days. So a loan deal for Marquinhos to Olympiacos, that one I have no problem with. I never felt like he's going to be sold. I think a loan deal is good for him. I would have loved him to go to a Premier League team, get experience in the Premier League, but I mean, we've seen several Arsenal players doing that in the past few years. Nelson has gone to Germany. He's also gone to Netherlands. His comeback is now going to be in the Arsenal team. Smith has done that as well. He's gone to Germany. He's gone to the championship with them. I think it was Huddersfield. He came back as well. He's now part of our team. Despite the injuries, he's a regular part of our team. Arsenal fans love him and everything. And maybe it's time for Marquinhos as well to do that. I mean, it's different with Nelson and Smith Rowe because they're already used to everything in England, culture and everything. But for a player coming from international, I'm kind of surprised that he's going to Olympiacos. But maybe go to Olympiacos for 6 months, 1 year, and come back again. If he's ready, we are happy we have someone to help Sak on that side if you haven't gotten anyone else by then. Or he goes there and smashes it, and next season we feel like we don't need him and we can get like 20 million for him after we bought him for only 3 million. That's a huge profit. Maybe that could be a thing as well. Let's see how that one develops. But all the best team at Olympiacos. This news was broken by Ryan Taylor Sport. As exclusive, Marquinhos is joining Olympiacos on loan. Last season, he was at Norwich in the Championship, so at least he did get a few minutes in England. I would have loved him to play in the Premier League, but let's see. No, not saying he cannot get that chance next season as well to go out on loan to a Premier League team for like 6 months. Let's see how that one develops. Ryan Taylor Sport also mentioned Nicolas Pepe. So this is the latest on Nicolas Pepe from, I think, a Turkish source. Nicolas Pepe is very close to joining Besiktas. It would be a contract termination with Arsenal. Whoa. this one did not work out, man. Then this one has not worked out at all. And to remember how like happy I was when you signed him, like this one did not work out at all. Now we don't like letting players go out on a free and cancelling their contracts. We've done that with Willian. But the one we've done under Arteta and Edu, like players that they've signed, I think is Willian. All the others that we've done were not really Edu and Arteta players. The Mustafis and the Ozils and Mkhitaryan's, those ones are not they're not bought by Arteta and Edu. So the only one I really put on their list is Willian. They bought him and they let him go on a free. That was a poor signing. But Pepe, I don't really put it on Arteta and Edu because he was not really signed by them. So if we are trying to get him off the wage bill, he gets around 150,000 a week, and there's no team that wants to sign him. Like if Nicolas Pepe was world class and stuff, if he had done well at Nice, teams would have been lining up to get him. But we are all approaching the end of the transfer window, and no team has really come in for him. So that becomes a massive problem. And if Arsenal just want to get him off the wage bill and use that money elsewhere, then you might have to cancel that contract. Now, it's going to be painful. It would be nice to get like even 5 million for him, but it doesn't really look so. So terrible transfer. Didn't work out for him. He was good for like a season. Obviously helped us win the FA Cup. We'll not forget that. But in terms of just fitting in England and everything, I don't think it was the league for him. But let's see. Who knows? He might go to an English team and smash it. But we are cancelling his contract, and it looks like he's going to tack it to Besiktas. That shows you. You also look at where the player ends up, and that is a problem as well. Like he would have gone to like Italy or Spain or something. Didn't really work out. Speaking of at least getting 5 million, that is what we are about to get for Austin Trustee. According to Danny Hall, Austin Trustee has completed his medicals at Sheffield United, and we are about to get that 5 million for him. So all the best to him. We talked about that one yesterday. Another player was leaving. We've now gotten 6 million for Pablo Mari, 5 million for Austin Trustee. We're not going to get anything for Pepe. We might get something if we sell Patino. We might get something if we sell Holding 3-5 million. Who knows? We might get something if I don't know if Tierney is 100% going to stay. All that, like there's several players who could leave. Balogun, can we get 35-40 million for him? Will Nketiah stay? Who knows? I mean, Ramsdale would be an interesting one. Like, who knows? Like, there's a 5% chance Ramsdale could even leave this summer if anyone pays the money. I really doubt. I don't think he's going to leave. I think he's definitely going to be here, but you never know. So we can at least get 70 million in total. But actually, if you sell Tierney and Balogun, you already gotten 70 million. If teams actually pay whatever they're worth, we could easily recoup at least 100 million or somewhere close to 100 million. The last two things, one is not to do with transfers, but Arsenal and Emirates have extended their partnership, the longest running front of shirt sponsorship in Premier League history. Interesting, which began in July 2006 and will now run until at least 2028, taking the collaboration to a minimum of 22 years. So until now, we've been sponsored by Emirates for 17 years. That's a lot, by the way. Yes, we know about Dreamcast and we know about JVC and we know about O2, but we've been with these guys the longest. Like it's weird. Not even our stadium is called Emirates, so it's weird not hearing Arsenal and Emirates together. And we have extended our contract until 2028. They will be sponsoring us for a further 5 years. So it will be the longest ever in terms of Premier League sponsors. 22 years. No team has ever been sponsored by a certain brand or company for 22 years. That's a lot. That's the same number of years that Wenger was at Arsenal. So quite a long time. Quite a long time. The last one is on Gabriel Jesus. Remember you talked about Balogun and Nketiah. Now, could Balogun end up staying if Gabriel Jesus is injured? Now, according to reports from Prek Brand, Gabriel Jesus is not in the Arsenal squad to face AS Monaco today, and there's rumors going around that it is another knee injury. What a shame. I mean, I hope it's not a serious one. I hope it's just a knock like the one Rice had, like just a precaution not to play him. But if Jesus got injured again right now, it would be terrible. One thing is that the way he starts his seasons, he's usually on fire. The way he did for us last season, he scored a hat-trick in the Emirates Cup last time in the Emirates Cup against Sevilla. He started the season on fire, scored against Leicester, brace at the Emirates, and then he played really well against Brentford, scored, played really well against Bournemouth, assisted. Like he was doing really good at the beginning of the season. So to lose him would be terrible because I feel like he's the one who has to be there. So could that mean, if it's a serious injury, could that mean that Balogun is the one who's going to end up staying? Because I don't think Kete will be like the first choice striker against Man City, for example, on the weekend. I don't think so. So hopefully Jesus is not injured, like seriously injured, but there's rumors going around that it could be a knee injury that is not going to play later today against Monaco, which is a shame. Really, really wanted him to be there. Really helped us a lot. Like people don't appreciate it enough. Like the kind of football he helps us play, the combination with Martinelli, with Saka, with Odegaard, with even Havertz so far, it looks very good. Like his communication with everyone and the way, like, he doesn't just stay in the box and wait for the ball. No, he comes back and helps the likes of Martinelli and Saka score the goal as well, and is a big part of the team. Is a big part of Arteta's system and all that. Arteta doesn't want a striker who's just going to stay in the box and score 100 goals. He wants someone who's going to be involved in the play and share the goals around. So that is how it is. But that's the latest. A lot to talk about today. Let me know what you make of all that. Arsenal later on today, we will have the reaction for that as always. Thank you for watching. I'll catch up with you guys on the next one.